Good morning, and welcome to your Business in Digital. I am Tamara Louise. Super excited to be here today. We have a jam-packed show for you. It is going to be awesome. Oh my goodness. How's everyone doing this morning? Awesome, awesome. Everyone is doing well. Well, Andrew, we miss you. We know we're recording a little bit off schedule, so we miss you. You'll be back. I can't wait for you to be back. All right, so let's kick to the intro because, again, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to your Business in Digital. Your Business in Digital is the show where we bring together all the experts. We bring together a true small business so that we can talk to you about your digital and your digital marketing activities. So we have a sales and pricing with Ms. Michelle Gordon in the building. We have Mr. Michael Wilshire doing operations. We have Deborah Mitchell, who works on video and how could you really be visible and how do you get that marketing done through video. Of course, we have Andrea, who always talks about finance. We love that. We missed the CFO today. And I'm here to talk to you about marketing and those digital marketing strategies that help you get to that place of money in the bank. So let me tell you how you can connect with us. You can connect with us in a few different places. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on YouTube. So definitely subscribe, check us out there. And if not, we're everywhere podcasts are found. So definitely catch us on the replay. What I want you to do is I want you to tell a business owner about this show. I want you to tell a business executive, tell a CEO, tell a CMO, because we're helping you connect those dots to get to that place of money in the bank through your digital marketing activities. We know that you love to spend a lot of time doing it. You put a lot of resources into it. So we want you to see that ROI. We want you to go back to your CFO and say, digital helped me increase my revenue by 10%, by 20% year over year. So that's exactly why we do this show, and we bring together these amazing experts. So, yay! All right, I'm giving myself my own applause. All right. Well, today is going to be a great show. Debbie, I cannot wait for you to talk about what we're talking about today. It's going to be awesome. So let's kick it over. Today, we're talking about Netflix and some of the things Netflix has been doing, right? So Deborah brings for us live streaming mastery. Put the slide back up and let me go through it. Live stream marketing mastery for business success. Now, this is a Emmy-nominated TV producer, so she knows what she's talking about. So let's jump into the Netflix conversation. So what is going on with Netflix?
As I was telling you all earlier, Netflix had me in my feelings this weekend. So they have introduced this new feature called Moments, and it's a opportunity for viewers to, while they're watching the show, whatever show, movie, show, they can pause and choose a clip and share it on different social media platforms. And then when the person gets the clip, they can continue watching the show wherever it is in the space of the show. I was just kind of blown away by it. So I'm talking to you all, and you're telling me that's how you watch. That's how you watch TV. Or you
we watch TV pretty badly. We're not true connoisseurs.
So it's just coming from traditional network TV. I'm still wrapping my mind around it. And I have been in the digital space for a while, but I'm thinking they are giving viewers permission to share. So the viewers are now creating engagement communities, having water cooler conversations, and just can pull the video and share it on the different platforms. I think that's amazing. And so, yes, I know we have a little clip of how it works. So show the clip.
Move to the clip. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So there's a tab at the bottom. Right. Okay. The Moments tab. There it is. Yeah. You take the clip and you can share it on TikTok, Facebook, whatever platform you want. And someone presses it and it starts to play right in the show. So like this
Mind
thing,
blowing.
yeah, it really is. And so I think that just to watch the evolution of how digital is, forcing us all to just consume video content in a different way. So going back to it, Netflix is giving permission to viewers to share content. There was a time where the wall was up, you couldn't share anything. The clipping feature allows you to clip and share short clips. I thought that you could choose the in and out points of the clips, but no, you just pick a point in the clip, share it, and the show starts up right from where where you saved it, and then you can save those clips and watch them later on. So it's that's how the moments works. So I think that, as Michael was saying earlier to us, that it's a part of Netflix's bigger plan to grow community and look at subscribers. So you all could talk about that a little bit later. But as a business person, I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh, how can businesses learn from this? How can they choose to use clips as far as building engagement using their community? So, similar to Netflix, you can have your employees or people working for you share company events, shoot video clips of company events, behind the scenes insights and key points, and then share that on their social media. So again, you're using your group, your employees, to share the information about who you are as a brand. It's organic reach. People are sharing with their friends, people they know. So you're automatically bringing a familiarity to the sharing that you're doing with the community. And as if you're a thought leader, by selectively sharing clip highlights that showcase expertise, you can continue to position yourself as a thought leader. So I'm just looking at it as how businesses can do things that are very similar to keep their brand out there using video. Tamara, show me the next one. Yes. There can be a downside to it, though. You could risk taking the content out of context. It's funny. Michael was saying earlier that he doesn't hear the whole story, which I think, oh wow, so you're only getting pieces of the information. So that's something to think about. As far as the brand narrative, you want to give an audience the power to share the clips, but you can lead the content by using them in different ways that they weren't intended. So companies need to be careful of that too. So you do need to keep a little bit of control about how the video is being used. And existing content quality, you got to make sure that the material is sourced in a good way. You have high quality video. It's not just any old video that's going out there. So you need to make sure that the content is polished and that you can definitely use it in a positive way. So going back to that one, Tamara. Yes. So companies keep control of how your employees are using the video. Create a highlight reel. Choose several key segments that reflect your company's brand and values. Have a brand guide so that all the video that's being put out there by your employees look the way you want it to look. They're not just creating video on their own. That's really important. And incorporate call to action so that people can learn more about the brand and your business. So even though you're allowing your employees to create their own moment clips, it's important as a business owner, to keep control of your brand. And these are a couple of ways that you can do that. So I think Netflix is setting a great example as far as how you can get your employees involved, get your viewers involved, get your audience involved, encourage them to share the video. And as business owners, we could use that same information too.
That was so good. Listen, I know it's like how we all watch TV is crazy. But it's the community is there and it's user generated content because some of I was telling you some of the shows I watch. I don't know that I'm going to announce them on the podcast. But anyway, some of the shows I watch already on Netflix, be proud of me. So Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Love is Blind, for instance, like there's already a huge community on Facebook. There's a huge community on TikTok. There's a, so there's conversation happening. There's a community on Instagram. There's a Facebook group, you know what I mean? Where like you
Mhm.
kind of roll through and you see like all the images of like what's happening at the reunion show. So people were already sharing it. People, if you go to TikTok, you want to learn anything about what happened, if you miss something, they're talking about it and they're capturing clips from of the show, but they're using their phones to capture it from the television, right? So now there's this moment where these moments, they can take that and then add their opinion to it on TikTok. They can take that, add the clip, and then really generate more conversation in the groups that they're in. So the community is already happening, and it's good to see Netflix leaning into something like this. I know it's non-traditional, and I know you're like, what the TV?
All the traditional stuff is out the window. It's a whole new world. And so, it's fascinating. Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. As you say, we don't watch television in the traditional sense anymore.
Hmm.
And yes, I, absolutely saw it as being in line with their strategy that it's about time in the app, right? How long do I stay in the app? But you mentioned something about sharing and, that the wall was up. Well, the wall was never up. They just, gave the
Mm,
wall permission now, right? Because
yes.
as Tamara was saying, people have been sharing on different platforms. And of course, they have been sharing without copyright, etc., etc. But
Hmm.
it's a behavior, and to see them recognize the behavior and say, how do we leverage this behavior for Netflix benefit, right? So going all the way back to the birth of digital, and let's look at what happened with music, right? And that whole transition through where it was, oh, copyright, then it became share, right?
Hmm.
So again, getting those communities involved, inviting more people to the app, letting people know, hey, this is on Netflix, so all these shows, all these clips, place to get them is on Netflix. And that's going to do two things: engagement and boost subscriptions, in my mind. So we'll see where it goes, but not necessarily a new road, but a nice road to take for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I find interesting about it is that they are meeting the behavior of the target audience that they're going after. They're going after a younger demographic, one that grew up with streaming, one that grew up with like what she just talked about, like they've pushed it to their TV, but they're interacting with their phone. And
Hmm.
Netflix has opened up the availability for them. That the technology has been there, but their core audience previously, that's not how, and I'll say it, their old core audience was not utilizing it that way. There are other
Exactly.
things that I will do, but that
Mhm.
wasn't one. And they realized, as they're broadening their approach and they're broadening who their target audience is, or trying to stay relevant in the places that they're going, this type of activity is relevant. That type of technology capability is important for the live interaction and the way that they communicate and work with their own community. And I thought that was, for them to keep up, and the people that they're employing
Mhm.
is an
Really.
audience that relates to who they're trying to get to, and are able to help their community and their business thrive and strive, because they're providing the technology that's important to them. I thought that's
Mhm.
ingenious. Now I've got to figure out how to do it, but
It's not that hard. It's really easy. But I just could imagine a meeting with probably a 20-something-year-old or 30-something said, "This is what we should do." And I was like, "Oh wow, yes."
and they grew up with it. It's second nature to them. So
Exactly.
it doesn't have to be anything they need to learn. It's part of their acquired. It's
They
an
need.
acquired behavior for us. It's given to them. It's
Mhm.
that's all they know, because they grew up with that ability, and it's speed to market for them versus us. We've got to reverse engineer our way back into it.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah.
I'm sure a 20
Great
something
topic.
or 30 something gave the idea, but I'm sure somebody else said, let's wrap a strategy around it. You know what I mean? So all the
That's true.
generations played in this.
That's
That
true.
makes sense. It makes sense because there's also it prevents it allows the stickiness. We've talked about this in several shows, how this was, I think, last season where we were talking about the ability, the acquisition cost was so much higher because people would keep a subscription for a season of a show and then they'd skip and move on. Well, this helps with them also not providing the whole season at once, too, allows folks to stick around. But then, they're meeting a need and that they might not be able to fulfill, or something that they like so much, they're willing to keep it along with, versus, giving up and saying, let me move to. They're keeping it along with, and they're accommodating it. So they're giving them another reason beyond the show to remain within the family. And a competitive, I don't know if it's a differentiator because I don't know enough about some of the others if they provide their version of moments, but it allows them to be a differentiator versus the competition, at least for the here and now.
Okay. I'll be sure with you all.
Well, Debbie, thank you for sharing. This was an awesome topic. We're super excited about it.
You're so welcome. Look forward to seeing you soon, okay?
All right. Take care. Have an amazing day.
All right.
Bye. All right. Moments on Netflix. All right. So we are moving on to our next segment, which is our Go Beyond the Like segment. And this is where where's the sound effect? There you go. Our Go Beyond the Like segment is where we take you beyond those likes and follows to that place of actually achieving your business goal, right? To that place of money in the bank, to the revenue, to the thing that you want to the business lead, right? To the thing that you really want to accomplish. So that's what we talk about here. Today, we are having a great conversation. Super pumped about this one. It is Trends 2025 Online Retail Trends. So this should be a jam-packed conversation about what you need to look forward to in 2025, especially with the online retail trends. There's so many things happening. I know, like, every Monday morning, something is brand spanking new, and you're probably like, oh my God, what do I do? But we are here to break it down for you. So, all right. So let's jump in, right? The first thing, which we talked about the other day, AI will have increased influence. Can it have more influence than it already has? Like, what does that even mean? Michelle, I'm going to kick it over to you. More influence with AI?
Apparently, it's in its infancy stages. And although we've for us here in the YBID community, this may seem like an old topic because we've been talking about this. I think this is season 2, where we have really leaned into it, and pretty much every show we're having some conversation about how AI has infused its way into our world. Well, what the buying community is actually saying to us unknowingly is that we need more of you. We need a lot more of you. And here are a couple of ways that it's coming through. And for those that don't understand, because I don't want to assume that you are aware of what AI is, it's the use of artificial intelligence technologies. And what's its goal in the retail space is to help to enhance the various steps of the buying journey to help you to make a decision faster. So this is inclusive in marketing areas. Tamara talks about this often. Personalized recommendations. You may see this often, especially if you're in the Jeff Bezos world of Amazon, where it will say, it will recommend a size to you, or if someone has purchased a different product, partner products, it provides those recommendations. And internally for many operations, it helps to understand what your inventory is and how to optimize that. Supply chain movement, things of that nature. So behind the scenes, so the operations part, but then forward facing as you're purchasing things, AI has touched you in every stage of your sales cycle. And it's just going to enhance more and more, a bit transparent for you. So it won't be so behind the scenes, it'll be more in your face, but you'll begin to just accept it and not realize that this is actually AI at work and help you to make a decision faster.
We love AI. We just did a whole show the other day on the AI influencer. So we love AI, how they're using it. And I think anything that really helps the consumer get to that sale quicker is better, right? It gives them a little bit, it gives them that, feeling of like, hey, I want to make this decision, but what are the barriers? And AI is probably thinking about all those things, right? It's like, okay, cool. Here's the cost. Here's the size. Here's how many we have. 5 other people that look like you purchase it. This is, try it on, try it on from the screen so it's easy if it's a fit, all the things that really help us to get to that decision sooner. And really it means that it may shorten the sales cycle, right? So, which is also a great thing. And the fact that it's behind the scenes as well, right? We don't even realize sometimes that it's there. It's behind the scenes, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm a fan of AI. Still, I know the robots will eventually take over, but for now, I'm good with it.
The Jetsons warned us 50 years ago. I'm sorry. The Jetsons warned us. I'm sorry, I just stated myself too. So kids, go back and just Google Jetsons.
Yeah, Google Jetsons for sure. But yes, I'm a fan of AI as well. And a lot of these things we have seen them. We've seen the suggested items, the suggested stuff, but now we're talking about a more personalized and a more data-driven response to what you're choosing, what you're browsing, etc. So I'm looking forward to see what this, where this goes. As you said, this is in its infancy. And AI is going to go even further. But this is the iteration from the call centers. So you remember those businesses that just operated as call centers for your business to answer those questions, etc., point them in directions, etc. Then this now brings it in-house in a very simplistic way to do that. So I am all here for it.
Yay, AI. All right, moving on to point number 2. Conversational commerce will go beyond simple chatbots. Conversational commerce, right? Like, what are we saying? What are those words? Is that what you call a word salad? All right, so
I think
Michael, I'm going
so.
to one over to you to talk about conversational commerce.
So exactly, let's start right there. What is conversational commerce? And it's that use of tools to engage customers through natural, real-time conversations. So somebody to talk to, right? It just boils down to somebody to talk to. And that includes things like your chatbots, your messaging apps, voice assistants, all of those things. And of course, it's because the customer always wants clarification. You can spend all the time in the world writing your descriptions, writing, what the product does, etc. Somebody will still have a question that they want answered, and it's not answered, or they've missed where it's answered on your site, etc., etc. So AI is really going to help a lot here in terms of making it faster to get that accurate product information, to answer those questions that may not be readily apparent to the user, to the customer. Because as we said, customers are wild cards, right? So you spend your time, you make the content and so, but there's something that they want answered that gets them just over the hump to become a customer. And that's why you want this takeaway to AI to help you and provide that personalized product experience, that intuitive shopping experience, answer those questions. I always go back to this, and it comes up often in the show, so I always go back to it. As Tamara says, when do we have questions? Late at night. So are you there to answer them late at night? Absolutely not, probably not, right? So this is where AI is going to step in. And you're going to see a more natural language. So with AI, it's that language. Again, we're going back to conversation. So it's no longer, can I help you? And it's these robotic type answers, but you'll get a more humane or human type answer, right? So you'll get, hi, thanks for shopping with us. How can I help you today? I see you've bought this in the past. Would you like to see this, this, this? So it becomes very conversational. And what it's going to go toward is that feeling that, yes, you are talking to a real person and getting the help you need to make that buying decision.
Give yourself a round of applause. So I did that yesterday. Got on with a chatbot, got some information, continued shopping, looked at it, and I was just like, okay, cool. It was, but it was exactly what I needed to do. And it really, once you have those questions and you're ready to make a purchase, right? It makes, as Michelle likes to say, right? Making it very sticky. So you're in that space, getting an answer is super helpful to take me to the next step, because now I'm like, while I might have been at the top of your funnel, now I'm in the middle of your funnel, because you're like, you answered my question. And if it's the thing I need, then I'm going to continue to go down that funnel. So these chatbots are definitely a smart way to go. And again, it's beyond chatbots, but that place to have someone answering a question. And it's a little bit old school, isn't it? Right? It's a little bit old school because right? So we removed that before, but now it's kind of like, well, people want to talk to someone, even if it's a bot, even if it's, they want to talk to someone, they want to engage, they still want that feeling. So here we are combining the old with the new. Yeah. So I love that.
It's awesome. And it is, again, I go back to the core of something we spoke about a couple of shows ago. When you do your homework in advance and you really identify your target audience and what the pain points are and what their need and how they like to be communicated to, all of that information is already done. It's homework and it's behind the scenes. But that assistant, that AI component, may be voice driven or a human chatbot. I'm going to put it that way because it's conversational. It's literally like you're going back and forth. They'll be able to meet your potential client's needs because you fed it enough information for it to understand your brand voice, to understand how to communicate back and forth. You've got a Q&A somewhere where it can retrieve that information and push it forward, or take an identification if there's somebody saying, well, does it really fitted, or does it fit like, a standard man shirt? You've built that descriptor somewhere behind the scenes so that AI can pull that information quickly, formulate it and speak like a human, but put that information in that chatbot somewhere to serve that up appropriately so that the person doesn't get frustrated and say, where's the phone number? Or I'm going to move on. Because think about it, that's what we do as humans, as we get really frustrated. We want our answer. We want something in a microwave way. And when we can't get it, we're moving on somewhere else, regardless of whether or not it takes us longer to get to that place. To get, if we were to just held firm a little longer, but it's an impression about how your business functions as well. So please absorb that. If they're frustrated there, then they're taking that frustration and adding it to every other place for your business and how they're going to work with your business. So keep that in mind, that's really important, to embrace it, but to utilize it appropriately.
This one over to you because I was looking at it and I was just like, wow, this one kind of threw me a little bit. Retail media will continue to grow. So talk about this, break this down for us.
Okay. So let's talk about what retail media is first. And again, I'm purposely putting it's practices that we already see, but there's terminology out there in the marketing and sales space that we're not accustomed to hearing. And there's tags and names that have been placed to it, but you have been living with it, unknowingly living with it. So what is retail media? That is the transformation, and we talked about this last show, where companies are diversifying their model and pulling in other revenue streams. In this way, they become a media platform. They're allowing other brands to advertise directly in their high traffic area in apps at the point of purchase. So the places I think about is, let's talk about Amazon. I'm going back to Amazon because it's well known in many a place, where when you receive an Amazon box at your house, you may have inserts or advertisements on the label that's advertising a different business. Here in the United States right now, it is NFL football season. There's a thing on there that's advertising NFL football. Or when you're at a point of purchase, if a business is partnering with someone, you see a message. When you're watching or listening to a podcast, you hear an advertisement. They are selling that space within their medium for a target audience that's similar to theirs in order to promote another business, but that is an additional revenue stream. So a lot of retailers are also doing that very same thing. Think of any website, when you see a pop-up or a banner or something that's advertising some other business, that is retail media, my friends. No, so how does that address a pain? So retailers are trying to help to ensure that they're partnering with somebody that makes sense and then bring more eyes into their space. And it also helps for retailers that are trying to get to that audience. It helps to ensure that they're delivering a relevant ad to a warm audience to move a sale forward. And so why should you, as a business owner, consider doing something, or how in the world should you do it because you know Amazon? It's really actually a little simpler than you think. We talk about it here in many of these spaces, and you do these things locally. leverage one of your partnerships with a local retailer or within a digital platform that you're working with so that you can co-market each business to help enhance your visibility and to move your business forward. So actually, you've been doing retail marketing probably in your world when you're standing up and talking in a different place, when you've seen a presentation with a sponsorship. Same thing, retail marketing, my friends, retail marketing.
Oh man, retail media. Love that. These businesses are all becoming their own media house, right? And they're selling advertising space, right? So they're just like, let's capitalize. We have an audience coming, let's capitalize. I love that. So next point is online retail marketplaces and drop shipping will continue to grow. I love online retail marketplaces. And when we think about these, we think about things like Etsy. Amazon is an online retail marketplace. We think about things like eBay. We think about all those spaces where we can find them, right? TikTok is now really also an online retail marketplace as well, too. So, and then drop shipping. So businesses, especially smaller businesses, this is a great opportunity for them as well, right? This is a great place where they can get that online presence that they desire without putting the time, effort into building a website. You can have your own website. We recommend that you do, but in a space like Etsy's, they're leveraging marketing. It's the big name that you're leveraging to get in front of your target audience, right? They highlight certain businesses. You can market within the space. You can pay extra for advertising across all these platforms. And the drop shipping, again, is something that sometimes I don't know that we even pay attention to the fact that I don't know that the consumer knows it's being drop shipped. But it's a great opportunity for business owners to, again, be in a space where when the person purchases, then you actually make the purchase. So there's a low overhead that's happening, and that product is then sent over to the consumer. So you haven't even touched it. Now, you need to pay attention to certain things, right? You need to understand what that feels like to the consumer, right? Is it a longer sales time? What does the packaging look like? Have you worked out anything with the company that's doing the drop shipping to make sure it feels like your brand? You really need to pay attention to it. You must go through the process first. I've talked to people who wanted to do drop shipping and they really haven't thought through all the steps. So as a business owner, there's great opportunity for you there too. If you already have your brand, if you already have your website, you can extend it in these spaces, but just really understand what the experience feels like. But we love online retail marketplaces for sure.
And there's so many more that we haven't mentioned, right? There's Costco, there's, the others, all the others that come into that space. But what it took me back to, and, to make the transition for some business owners, it's, you walk into a hotel and there's a whole rack of things to do from other companies next to it, right? So they are providing a space. I love that you're leveraging it to get another form of income, another revenue stream, right? But it's not it's not something that's new because of digital. It's a transition of something that existed into digital and into revenue as well. So I love those two sides of it. Love that you talked about thinking the process through tomorrow, because yes, drop shipping sounds easy, but there are some nuances that you've got to make sure you address for it to work. And yes, it's definitely the way we're going down the road, right? And a great place to do that. I'm a fan of digital for that product testing. So you get into a big marketplace, you see how that product performs before you do all the bells and whistles to make it your own brand, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of opportunity there for small businesses making use of these retail spaces and drop shipping, for sure.
All right, Michelle, this was a good one. The visual search will grow. We got to talk about this. Talk about visual search.
I don't know who was in my brain when they developed Google Lens, but it was just the ingenious thing. So what is visual search for our community? Again, it's embedded in your world. You've seen it, you've done it. But you don't realize this is the nomenclature for it. It is the technology that allows you to search information using an image instead of text, so that for you to deliver. So instead of in any search engine, you typing I want this black shoe with this bow, with this sort of square heel, with, a strap across the top, because you saw some woman with this shoe on. You can literally, or you saw it on TV, take a picture, upload it, and it will work its little magic with its lens and will return back to you in your search almost identical, if not the shoe, along with the site and the price that for you to then purchase. So that has been recognized as an easy thing for a number of these sites to serve up to you, so that your experience can be better. Two, it helps you to move along the sales cycle better. And three, the whole experience, we buy with our eyes. And this will allow you and your business to move forward in an easier way, so that you can get past things like language barriers. We often talk here in this space about many a business, thanks to the digital world and online buying, have moved from being a local business to a global business. Well, in order to be a global business, we have to consider how to get beyond some language barriers. Putting up an image helps you to eliminate whether or not somebody understands your language, because that visual is very language agnostic, and it will help you to get your product out there and have it discovered. And then the accurate recognition. There's nothing worse than putting something in a search engine and then it not meeting the need because you just not found the right words. This eliminates that whole word search and then allows you to just search by that image, and then to get to the place to buy it much faster. It's really cool.
Unmute.
So can I tell you, I was hanging out with my niece this summer, and she had on this outfit that I was just like, oh my God, I must have this in my closet. So I took a picture of her. I put it into Google and I was just like, oh my goodness, there were so many different variations. So I didn't need to get the exact thing she had, but I could get a variation that kind of suit me. It was more me a little bit, which was just awesome. And it was just very cool to just be able to do that, right? To be able to, as you say, to be able to put in a picture is 1,000 words, right? That's what they say. And it is 1,000 words. And you're getting to that sale a lot sooner. And I can't unsee it. I didn't know that you actually created it in your brain, and they got in your brain. They took it. I thought it was from my brain. But I'm like, who did? I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, Google absolutely 100% for sure.
It was amazing. I remember, and this is no lie, I can't remember the name of the show, but I remember watching this woman walk across, she was walking down the street and she had this beautiful bag. It was a beautiful chocolate suede bag that was just gorgeous. I literally stopped the TV, stood up and walked up to it and took a picture of it and could not figure out who it was. As soon as that ability came to, I still have the picture because that is my personality. And I uploaded it and found the purse, found the bag. But I was like, oh, I couldn't find the words. I couldn't figure it out. And, some rocket scientist figured it out for me. And it is just absolutely amazing. And the joy you feel. Now think about that. Think about the experience in this sales journey where any other time you would have been, trying to put in very long tail descriptor words to try to find every piece, or you would have just turned your niece around and looked at the label and then, try, and you could do that because that's your family. But you see a stranger on the street, how many of us are going to walk through and say, yeah, where'd you buy that? How much you paid for it? And, can I buy it locally here? Or give me. Where you don't have to do that now. You can literally, take a picture and do a search. It's fabulous, darling.
You can low-key stalk them. I think I did that with shoes the other day too. It's like
Visual search is great, no doubt. I've used it not just, I love that you all have keyed into, finding clothes and stuff, but I've used it for, more technical purposes. I need to find a part or something, and I don't know where to find the part, and that's a very powerful tool for me. You need to get something and you don't know what this part is called. The names of parts change over the years, and you just, do that visual search. But the tie back here that I want to make that point is SEO, right? So we've always said in SEO that make sure that you're naming your images, right? And this is just that extension of that SEO practice of you don't just put an image and then you call the image 123.jpg, you know, ABC did it. It was generated, you saved it, you didn't care what name it had, because visual search like doesn't know Tamara looks like this, Michelle looks like that, right? But if I put up an image and I say picture of Tamara Monlouis, and then somebody else does a visual search, I think I know that person. You know, this is how powerful it can get. So, you know, stretch those limits of thought when you're thinking, how do people actually visually search? And that's a great way to be found when, you know, you don't know what options are out there. You're trying to address your pain point. You just click that camera. Love Google for that all the time. Google. There's someone else for you. So visual search, definitely one to watch and to make sure you're leveraging in your business.
You know, I love something that we've, you know, if we bring it back to the core and all of the points so far, revert back to, did you do your homework for your business? Like that is always the most important thing. Some of the core things that we talk about is, have you set your business up for success and longevity? And in every little piece. So the technology is fabulous. However, there's back end work that makes it look so easy on the front end. And not saying that it takes you years to do it, but it takes thought in detail of what's important and what's your brand voice and what are you really trying to communicate with your eyes. But there's words that need to go behind it. And there's a little homework that's underlying everything that we've talked about in every point so far.
All right, we love that. All right, so next we're talking a little bit about the change in the marketing channel mix of business. So what are we talking about here? We are talking a little bit about how businesses, right? What are these? They're these really cool retail marketing channels. So platforms or methods where you can promote your business and sell your products directly to consumers. So that's the live shopping that happens on TikTok. It happens on Amazon. It happens on Facebook. It is like, I have to say it, it's the QVC of it's the new age QVC, right? I mean, the other day I stumbled on someone's channel on TikTok, and I was just like, for a second, I was just she was selling wigs, right? And it was just crazy. She has like a million of them, but she would try them on and she'd kind of quickly be like, oh, this is how quick it looks, this color, blah, blah, blah. It was just moving. It happens on places like Poshmark, if you ever sell on Poshmark. So there's so many spaces that they're doing this live shopping, and it really takes you back to that QVC feel. If those of you that know QVC, it's that feeling of like, hey, you can get this product. Here's what it looks like on someone else, someone that may look like you, that may feel like you, because sometimes you just don't want to see the product just there. You want to see it on someone. Does it look right? Does it feel right? And so they've just expanded this into all these social selling platforms, right? So all the social media platforms that we're aware of, you can find it there. Amazon, you can find it on TikTok. If you are a business owner and you have retail product, you want to figure out what's your area? Where can you show up in that space, right? Is that the right space for you? But it's a great way to find your consumers exactly where they're hanging out. That's what we love about this, right? They're in those spaces, checking stuff out. I mean, I was there looking and I was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, but it was just really a cool process. It's a good process. And I have to say, a lot of these business owners are really, it's almost like they're so good at it. They've gotten it down to a science, how quickly they need to move, how quickly they need to engage the audience. So definitely, if you're a business owner and you're considering something like this, check it out. Build your style, understand what it feels like, and try to get in front of your audiences where they are. We always talk about that, right? Go to the target exactly where they are. But I love the live shopping features.
It's phenomenal. It's easier to talk about clothes. It's easy to talk about cosmetics because I'm sorry, it's just the girl thing that we're doing here. But the first time I saw it was actually on Instagram. Something was served up to me and it's a clothier that's in North Carolina of all places. And this woman, I was like, I love her style, and she evolved from just showing pictures to eventually she did Instagram reels, and then it was lives. And I was like, very interesting. But sure enough, I bought something from her because I could see myself in it versus just, seeing the picture and being uncertain. She was smart enough to realize that take me inside your boutique by having people who look like me, that's built like me, to wear the clothing, and also answered the question. So she was verbally giving me cues about how it fit in the waist, how, where it fell, and did it go to my ankle? Was it short, or how did it fit on the arm? The descriptors that we naturally are reading, we're getting fed verbally. We hear it through voice, and then we have the visual. So it is when you're selling something, we buy it with our eyes, and that's a quick way to do the FAQs. To each stage of the buying journey is met in a nanosecond, and really smart way of doing business. And I know my husband does it in other things. Like I've seen him try to look at, we've got every electronic in this house imaginable. It's crazy the things, but that's how my husband uses it. He finds these gadgets, and I'm like, how'd you find it? And to convince me that we need to invest in this, he'll send me a video. He'll send me the recording of the live that he watched somewhere. So it does work in every space in a lot of different ways. So consider it, people, consider.
And it absolutely takes me back to the trend earlier this year and last year where TikTok made me buy it, right? And people did a lot of, what did TikTok make me buy this week, right? And they weren't talking about TikTok selling them anything, but somebody else on TikTok. And I can absolutely understand this, as you all say, retail, buying sunglasses. And I will always remember going to one sunglasses store where the person said, you know what the mistake is most people make when they're trying on sunglasses? They do this. They squint, right? And just that, and, translate that into a video, trying on sunglasses, trying on this, especially in the men's space where we're typically, second tier in terms of shopping and so, but giving us those tips, those clues, try-ons, this kind of thing, mix and match, what works well in this setting, because, a lot of us are challenged, right? We don't know what's the best thing to wear. So this is something that really, as a retailer, you need to bone up on. As I said, do your homework, look at it from that perspective. It definitely boosts your conversions down the road.
We are loving it. All right, Michelle, this one is m-commerce. Shopping and purchasing will continue to increase. So talk about m-commerce for the people.
All right, everyone. We're accustomed to hearing e-commerce or, some version of this. This is actually something that you know well, and it's a subsegment of the whole electronic commerce component. It's your mobile devices, your smartphones and tablets will become a major and almost the place that any of the online purchases will happen. Indeed, in 2024, it's projected that across the globe, $558 billion will account for the purchases from mobile and smartphones and tablets. And that is, hold on to yourself, 60% of all sales, 60% in 2024. So as a small business, make sure that you are somehow making sure, and Tamara will talk about this in greater detail and has, about how your tablets, your smartphones need to be compatible for whatever device a customer may have so that they can purchase. And utilizing of apps. We're buying via apps as well, not just websites, but the apps that we have in spaces like TikTok, or making sure that you are able to allow your consumers to buy through mobile wallets, Apple Pay, Google Wallet, things of those nature. So when you're thinking about your business and how people buy and meeting them where they are at the time of day and how they buy, mobile commerce is going to be the majority of the places that they either start and or finish a buying purchase for your business. So embrace mobile. I know it's a little bitty device, but everyone's buying that way. So embrace it or be left behind.
Right. And it's not just an itty bitty device, right? It's the itty
Mhm.
bitty device that I mean, I think we all have it
Powerful.
right next to us, right? It's the itty bitty powerful device that we're like using all the time. So I think the big thing is making sure that you are mobile ready, right? Your web presence is mobile ready. What does it look like on a tablet? What does it feel like? Going through your process to make sure that your customer will enjoy that customer journey as well from mobile, right? Because sometimes we think about things in desktop and we think about things in desktop only. Mobile has slowly been taking over. Every time I look at analytics, I see more and more and more how sometimes 70% of the traffic is actually coming from mobile. That event that we do, Caribbean Sun Feast, a lot of people are coming from mobile when we look at the analytics. So we understand that. So you want to make sure that you have your process set up, your web presence set up in a way that people can actually buy from you, get to the thing sooner than later. Don't just look at desktop. You have to look at all these platforms, all these devices to make sure that you really set up so that your customer can actually buy from you in the best possible way, the easiest possible way, I should say.
Right. And it's communication as well. So not just them seeing things, but how are you communicating with them in advertising? Text messaging. How often are we receiving just like reminders? So direct display remarketing will get remarketing text messages, just notifications of an availability of something that was not available or coming to market or now back in stock. That helps you to sell, things and keep your business on the radar screen, because sometimes we're in a set it and forget it, like they've moved on or life takes over. They begin the purchase process, something goes awry, and then life takes over, but you send a reminder to them and say, oh, don't forget this is in your cart. I can tell you many an occasion where that's happened to me, where I've forgotten it. They send me the reminder. I'm like, that's right, I wanted that. Or I forgot that I put my name on a waiting list. The waiting list is now there and I'm buying as soon as I click that link. And because it's in my phone as a safe number for me to click that link on. So security. But I have purchased and I am that person. I am in that audience. So being mobile ready is more than the visual. It's how are you also marketing and communicating with your community.
Glad that you ended on communicating, because that mobile commerce definitely requires a communication strategy, because all the things that support it, your mobile ready website, but what's your mobile ready emails, what's your mobile ready text messages, as you just mentioned, right? So all of these things have to be now resized, replaced in a way that it makes sense on mobile, because what we've seen is absolutely, when I can answer all of my questions while I'm still on my phone, I will make the purchase. If I have to leave my phone and go to a desktop, then I'm creating a friction point, which I may or may not overcome for all those reasons you just said, Michelle. I forget, I went to something else, I found another site that I can access on my phone, etc. So it's that easy to lose that customer, but it's also that easy to get that customer. So make sure that mobile ready means that you have a clear strategy of all the things that support somebody looking at your product on a mobile device.
It goes back to this saying, right? We talk about mobile first. So when you're thinking about your web presence, you want to think about it from a mobile first standpoint. When you're thinking about your messaging, you want to think about that from a mobile first standpoint as well, too, right? So that you can actually get to the people and get them to that place of conversion. So you have to be really thoughtful about it to move the needle. So guys, this was a really good show. I'm excited about this. So I love these trends. So Mike, I'm gonna kick it over to you to do your 30-second. What's your 30-second takeaway from this?
My 30-second takeaway. So retail trends continue to push forward. We used to talk about retail death, but there's no longer retail death. It's just transformed as things do. So definitely keep on top of these trends. Look at those trends like AI, and so anywhere that you can meet your customer when you are not present is something to leverage as a small business. Digital is now giving us a lot of means and tools to be there for our customer when we are not actually there. So leverage them in 2025 to show that growth, to push that growth in retail, in your retail space. Do all the good things, especially, and I would close with, use AI. Definitely play with AI, see what it can give you, and leverage the data that comes back from it as well.
I know we provided a lot here for you today, right? For these trends, but we're not saying to you, go ahead and do everything, right? We want you to choose what makes sense for your business. If it's live shopping and that's something you're considering, just go start doing some research, see what people are doing. How can you jump into the market? If it's making sure that people can find your product through that image search, you want to make sure, hey, what is that? How does that connect back to my SEO strategy? So you want to pay attention to what resonates with you here and really look to see, how can I lean this into my strategy? It's not everything that you need to do, but you definitely need to do some of them. Leverage AI for sure, because AI is something that can make you faster, more efficient, and really help you connect with that customer. So take your time, go through the process, look at these 7 points, see what resonates, study it, and then adapt it to your strategy. I think it's going to be good for you. So Michelle, I'm going to kick it back to you now to talk a little bit about the key takeaways for today's show. Go for it.
Going forward, before I start, I just wanted to say, Mr. Barbados, it's so great to have you back. It's so lovely, 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 darling.
Good to be back.
It's so great to have you back. It is. It is. Well, family, we wanted to bring you the takeaways. I know we're in the fourth quarter sprint where we are literally trying to bring in the last of the sales for the year. But it's important for us to also keep an eye on the future and understand what's going to be really important to our community as we are moving forward into 2025. And these were the 7 that we chose this time around, and there are a lot more, but the 7 here. Leading with AI, as we said, throughout this conversation, because artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it is relevant in online selling and any part of your visibility. So please keep that in mind, because that personalized shopping experience, customer satisfaction, and just frankly, your overall operational efficiency will be better if you find a way to infuse it into your business. That live conversation is the next space. We call it here conversational commerce, but the point here is that AI is here. We want your business to function even when you're sleeping, but it needs to be in a conversational, human type way, because all of us want to feel that we're speaking to someone who understands who we are, deliver information real time, but in a personalized way. We want that assistant to us to be personalized in helping to deliver our brand voice and to move our sales along the way that we need to. Number 3, the retail media space is growing. And what that simply means is in every space that we're in, these businesses, and yours too, can diversify your revenue streams by partnering in some sort of way to allow, where it makes sense, advertising and co-marketing with a local company that will be in a digital space to help to not bring just revenue into your business, but also to increase your visibility. The 4th thing is the online marketplaces and drop shipping is going to be here and going to grow quite a bit. Our consumers want not only a variety of goods, but they also want and are demanding that we provide it in a quick fashion. That's why if you're in and you're selling products in not only just your website, but if you have the ability to place your goods and services in a marketplace, it is going to allow you to have broader visibility. It's going to serve your consumer demand, and that drop shipping component, when partnered with the right place, can help to meet the ever-growing demand for speedy delivery as well. Number 5 is the visual search optimization. We talked about this earlier. We buy with our eyes. It will allow you to move your business forward because you are going to you're serving up a warmer sale, is the way I call it. By leveraging that visual search, you're providing the ability for your product to be discovered quickly. You're providing an accurate feel to what the consumer is seeking, and it's going to help you to escalate that sales movement to the point of yes, because you're delivering to them exactly what they are seeking. Number 6 is the evolving way of the mix of business that's coming into your business and the way people are buying. It's not just the traditional walk into a store. It's not just the traditional place of just your smartphone or laptop. There's connected TV. As Tamara said, the ability for you to go live and not just show pictures of the product that you're selling. There are a number of ways that people are buying, and we are seeking for you to consider not throwing everything out and then trying all of them, but pick one or two ways that you're going to expand where your business is visible to bring in more business into your business and be play in the place that your community is buying. And finally, the last one that we just